Hello and welcome to Texas Gardener's little seeding video. I started briefly with the outdoors just to show you some of the little firefly lights I have. I'm just a big fan of. Nothing too gaudy, just a little bit of extra lights at night, making it all whimsical. So here's the office. Tool drawers full of seeds. So I left a couple seeds in every packet so I can just broadcast them. This is the office where I got a lot of seeding done. So I'm just gonna kind of show you the essentials that really helped me in this process. These are for labeling, the little popsicle sticks, 1,000 count. I've probably had those for 30 years when we were kids, and just now they're finally coming to use. I really like that Jiffy. These are the two seeding mixes I use. The Jiffy one is more fluffy, so if it gets moist, it almost stays too moist. So I used a half mix, half and half mix with the Miracle Grow version. That one's a little bit more, has a little bit more drainage, so the two combined are very good. Little Febreze bottle helps for spraying. I think that has a really nice misty spray. And a 1/4 inch hardware cloth goes a long way for screening any kind of soil you have. It'll, basically filter out all the large sticks, so then you can just throw those in a different bin. And yeah, then you have this nice fluffy material. Here I'm usually using that with the peat moss, because that tends to like really clump up real easily. But yeah, you could use it with your soil, whatever. So it saves a lot of money to just be able to buy whatever, a big bag of garden soil instead of the seed mix, which is usually twice as expensive for like half the amount. So I guess it's like 4 times as expensive. Yeah. They're just showing off some of the lights. Probably just skip that part. Yeah, little rack. Fan, pretty necessary once you have the seedlings established and they're growing, to give them those strong roots to fight against. My little pile of recycling bins. Every week I would just kind of go for a walk at night with a box and just grab all the nice Tupperwares from my neighbor's recycling bins. Yeah, probably look like a bum doing that, but you know what? It saved me a lot of money from buying containers. I do like those. If you see the silver containers, those big silver trays, you can probably get like a pack of 5 for like $5. And that would be honestly the most ideal if I had the space. But I don't really have the space, and Houston's too hot for me to go outdoors with like seedlings. So everything's kind of indoors. So I just kind of cram a lot of seedlings into, yeah, little Tupperware, a little restaurant doggy bag to go type thing. And just found a big old leaf, so I'm throwing that in the compost pile. And I like to just mix old soil with some peat moss. The peat moss really adds fluff and moisture retention to like old dried out soil. So yeah, the mix together is just really good for seedlings. And here you'll see, like, I just take this rock hard old old soil, right, compacted as hell, and I just break it up into that container. So that's kind of like my drip container. Like all the whatever falls out just goes into that silver tray. Mix it up, and some peat moss. It's basically as good as new to be using for little seedlings, or so I would hope. And then I do mix some actual of those seed starting mixes that I showed you earlier. So this is me, grabbing those, the Jiffy and the Miracle Grow. Like I say, I like a little mix of both. The Miracle Grow comes with like a little bit of vermiculite, which helps with drainage. If not, like, if you want 100% Jiffy, I don't know. I tend to like overwater my seedlings, and I don't always have drainage holes on the bottom of these containers because that would just like, take me too long to do. So nice to have like a little bit of vermiculite, which is just like a nothing, or perlite. So you probably don't have to pat down as much as I do. And I like to pre-moisten a layer before I start seeding. Reason being, it just sometimes you could put a seed down, and then after, if you spray on top, that seed could fall through the cracks, like when the water drips through, and your seed could end up at the bottom of the container. And I mean, most of these seeds just want to just lightly, be lightly covered for the most part. I will say this was a bad example, but I had to do this New Jersey tea, which I boiled water in last night, or I put those seeds in tepid water in that glass jar. So I did not get good distribution in this pour. So we'll see if they're all clumped up. We'll find out. I mean, I tried to kind of move these seeds around. It's a lot easier when you're just tapping them like out of a actual seed packet. So I wish I had that example, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'd probably take too long, but these are my babies. I spent like $1,000 on seeds, so I do care for each one to be done pretty proper. If it takes me 10 minutes, okay, so be it. They didn't all take me 10 minutes. Some I sped through, but for demonstrations of the video, I'm just kind of getting a nice, perfectly done up little tray of, this one was New Jersey tea seeds. And on the top, I always like to top it off with cocoa peat moss. Yeah, peat moss. Reason being, it's just super fluffy, and that your plants are gonna have no problem breaking through, and it just creates a nice moist layer that, when they break through, they're being fed, nourished. Yeah. Only the strong survive, which is kind of my plan. I just mass seed in a little container, and whatever dies, but for $2-3 you get a pack of like hundreds of thousands of seeds, as opposed to like $10 for a single flower that might die on you when you transplant it. So I think this is the way to go. And if you so much as get it like more than one germinated, like, you can almost consider that a success. Although I am definitely going for more than a couple. I would like the entire tray to be loaded. I'd like to give some to my friends, family, neighbors really is like the big one. So like, I'm a fan of plants. I just want my entire block to be falling out of control with wildflowers. So here I'm labeling, having a Sharpie, popsicle sticks, very handy. The plastic labels are better. I think they're more like waterproof. Like these, eventually after watering like 100 times, the Sharpie will kind of bleed, and whatever you write down might be unlegible. But there you go, NJT, New Jersey tea. And this breed of flowers actually can be turned into a tea, so very excited about that. Also got some like chamomile. That should be delicious for some tea, sleep. Got a little bit of water. I do like to overwater for my first seeding, because after that I'm only going to give a couple sprays a day. I don't really cover mine with cellophane or anything. I don't know. Every day I just spray them a little bit, but the initial watering is pretty thorough, just to ensure that those seeds are getting moist, wet, crack open. And here I'm showing you, I forget what these are called, but I might use those later on, but honestly it's faster to just dump everything in a tray and just start it like that, Soil blocker is what it's called. Yeah, wasted $20, but at least it came with this other like little seeding thing that I also don't use. But in case I want to do soil blocks, I have that option. And yeah, later on when I'm not seeding like 1,000 packets and I want things more controlled, absolutely, yeah, go with the soil blocks. And lastly, I just have like a little example of what the operation kind of looks like when it's in bloom. These plants have already been removed from the garage. They're right now hardening off outdoors. It's amazing to see like some of them how they just blow up like when they get actual sun. Real sun is like so much better, but you have to be careful because like it can toast. I mean, we're still in February, but Houston, we're setting like record highs. We're getting into the 80s. And I mean, some of these plants get scorched if they're out like in the full sun all day. So I kind of have them in a shady area where all they get is like the morning sun